Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a Teal Town reaction. As Erik Karlsson is officially introduced as a member of the San Jose Sharks. I am Eric Kura alongside Chris JWS. Good day, sir.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy. Let's just put it out there really quick. Nobody can get my name wrong anymore. There's no excuse now that Karlsson is in San Jose.
Oh,
Just
watch
putting that
me.
out there.
Watch me.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
That sounds like a challenge, sir.
No. So if you need a pinch me moment for this, yes, Erik Karlsson is a San Jose Shark. Screen grab courtesy of NBC Sports California. Totally a crazy week or so. Not just for Sharks fans, but definitely with Karlsson himself. He kind of described it today in the presser, Chris.
I mean, I
Yeah.
Sorry, feedback.
Oh, gotcha.
We are professionals here, but no, because I heard you twice there. All of a sudden, my thing decided to play your audio again. But shoot, it's been a whirlwind for fans, but can you imagine the whirlwind for him? Because like fans are like, this is unbelievable, and he's probably like, this is unbelievable, and then talk about immigration issues because it's not just a U.S. city to a U.S. city. Yeah, I can only imagine what his life has been like for the last week.
Yeah, and he talked about how how he has a really big closet and a lot of clothes and took care of a few personal matters. And like on his Instagram, he had a little party where they had a Sharks heads in there, so that was pretty cool. But realistically, he got here last night, went to bed, woke up, and got out to the rink. I'll ask you this: where do you see him being played? I'm kind of with the idea of just putting, Vlasic on one unit, Burns on another unit, Karlsson on another unit, and just let them do their magic for 60 minutes.
I mean, it's interesting because they could go. I know it's usually you have your top two units play about 48 to 50 minutes of the game, but maybe they do roll it a little bit more like 20, and then that goes up or down based off of power play and penalty kill situations. Where you'll give Burns and Karlsson increased time on the power play and increased Vlasic's time on the penalty kill. I mean, there are so many different ways you could slice this, but it's good to have options, not to not to be like, oh shoot, who do we play where, because they're also so.
For that matter too, the crazy thing is the power play. I think that's what's going to be really interesting down the road this preseason to see is how they're going to set this up. And yeah, maybe they don't show the the wrinkles just yet on there, but that's quite interesting. So a couple of questions we wanted to check, and we say hello to the chat. We thank 34 of you watching right now on the Teal Town YouTube page. Quick reminder: originally we had this planned. Was it 7 o'clock, Chris?
Yeah, we have the AMA tonight.
Yeah, the Ask Me Anything. We had it planned for this night, and by golly, what a perfect night! And we'll discuss the All-Star logo there as well, because you know how much I love the graphic design to it. But he pretty much mentioned that he likes to seek challenges, and we brought up challenge a lot. It's extremely motivating challenge. And be with a good organization, a good hockey club. He wished his friends and teammates in Ottawa nothing but the best. And of course, you don't want to say, yeah, that's a typical thing, but the guy was there for 10 years. It's got to be tough to do to get a move out of nowhere and especially across freaking continent, I should say.
Yeah, I know, right? But I think challenge being the theme here because it's a very different challenge than he had in Ottawa. Because I mean, Ottawa very challenged, but the he was the best, the definite best player there, the unquestioned leader. And on this team, it's going to be a different dynamic. The challenge is going to be a different challenge because it won't. The challenge isn't going to be to be the best player and lead. It's going to be bring home a Stanley Cup because honestly, it's kind of cup or bust around here and has been for a long time. I mean, obviously, we enjoy the seasons no matter what, but the expectations are always very, very high here. It isn't just have a good season.
Yeah, it's pretty much been cup or bust since 1994, to be quite honest. That 94 run, and AJ and I always reminisce about it. It's just how close we could have been and everything there. The guys in the presser today also were mentioning where would he pair. We mentioned that. I guess he was talking with Vlasic, and it was interesting because they had the little controversy stick in the face a couple years ago, but it was interesting. They openly talked about 3-on-3, and PDB I think was very cool to mention that he was saying Pavelski with Burns and Karlsson, and he pretty much said Pavelski's going to have to learn how to skate backwards a lot more and play a lot more defense.
Well, yeah, I mean, you see a lot of teams, most teams really, when it's 3-on-3, they're playing, two forwards and D-man. But again, we have so many options now because this opens up because there's no reason why you could not play Burns, Karlsson, and Pavelski, or Burns, Karlsson, and Kane, or some combination like that where you have so many scoring threats out there and just completely non-conventional. It's not what you expect. But yeah, in that case, whoever's forward would probably need to be able to play a little defense because it's gonna have times where those two are caught deep and it goes the other way. But say Peter DeBoer is going to have a lot of options, and I figure early in the season he's going to be experimenting a lot. He's going to be trying different combinations and try to figure out who has chemistry with who and what situations work well for what, because there's so many different ways you could do this, and there's a lot of right answers.
Yeah, and and even the guys said earlier that it was not just anything particular set in stone. It's going to be remain to be seen, and even PDB mentioned that the they still have a lot of rookies to play around before they even get into anything. So let's look in the chat really quick. Cheryl saying, read LeBron's article. If he wants 8 years, he cannot sign until after the trade deadline.
Yeah, it sounds like I took a quick glance at that article. It's on The Athletic. So if you don't have a subscription there, you should get one because The Athletic is cool. But yeah, it sounds like right now the most he could sign for is 7 years, which I'm not too worried about it because I don't think Doug Wilson would have brought him here if he wasn't confident he could get him long term. So I'll worry about that when, if we're talking almost July next year and he's not re-signed, then I'll start worrying.
Yeah, and if he isn't signed, the day after trade deadline, I don't think it's no big deal. However, there's going to be that whirlwind, John Tavares type of coverage, and that will maybe play on the team a little bit. So we'll see. So.
Yeah, if it gets to that point, it'll definitely get crazy. But I kind of think like if the earliest he could sign is late February, it wouldn't surprise me if they get it done very soon after, unless he's just not sure on playing here, because I'm sure he doesn't want to be thinking about that in March and April. Where am I playing next year? Want to get that out of, not have to deal with that thought or those questions during press conferences during the playoffs, because you know how it goes during the playoffs, especially, you know, if you're in a bad situation, like, well, have you started thinking about next year and where you're going to play?
Yeah, and you know, the second that they're on the verge of potential elimination, which we hope doesn't happen, you're going to get those questions asked, and especially if the Sharks do play a Canadian team, you know that the pressure will be mounting big time on them. Let's see.
Yeah, like there's big pressure from a Canadian team. Come on, Erik.
Hey, I'm just putting it out there. I know. I mean, we know that.
We know
Ottawa,
you like the Jets. We know you like the Jets. It's okay.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. The Jets look pretty promising this year, but you know, Edmonton, if they can turn things around. Calgary is just not there yet, and of course, Vancouver is going to be fighting Ottawa for the top spot, or for the top odds in the draft lottery.
So speaking of those teams, by the way, we have division previews coming out in another week or so on our audio channel. So you should not only subscribe here, but you should go subscribe to us on SoundCloud, because we have previews already recorded with, I believe, yeah, all the Canadian teams in our division, and the Ducks doing the Kings on Friday. We've done most of them. So those are being edited, and those will be released in about a week or so.
Yeah, so make sure you check us out on check us out on SoundClouds, or for that matter, the iTunes or Google Play. Also, tune in. You know where to find us audio wise. You can just check us out there. Also, check us out here on the YouTube channel. Let's go into the chat really quick. Randall Hunt, hello Randall, good to see you on here. Best defense arguably since the 2007 Ducks. Yeah, I would say yes. I mean, there are a lot of people who are comparing, you know, the Sharks defense against the Predators defense a week or so ago when this trade occurred. What do you think? Best since the 07 Ducks?
Could be. I mean, a lot of it's going to come down to what they do on the ice. I mean, I could easily see it being one of those all-time defenses, just looking at the talent there, because, you know, you have the two best offensive defensemen in the league. You have the best defensive defenseman in the league. You know, and the rest of those guys aren't slouches. Like poor Justin Braun. He's like the fourth best defenseman on this team, when a lot of other teams he'd be somewhere between 2 and 3. So he's a guy who is going to be unfortunately expendable when his contract is up. But for now, I mean, he's not going to have a lot of pressure on him. It's going to be on the big names.
And for that matter, you have it like Randall. Your great minds are thinking alike there with Jones. You know, they have a solid goaltender with that solid defense, and that defense has pretty decent scoring. And granted, Vlasic isn't on the same page with Burns and Karlsson, but I mean, Vlasic contributed fairly well last year, so that's pretty promising. But Todd Gack should be Vegas, San Jose for top spot in the Pacific, and that's what I think is the big key here, Chris. I think if it's Vegas and San Jose, like say in round 2 of the playoffs, I think that's going to be definitely a hell of a series. And that's probably the team that comes out of the West, in my opinion.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I think it could come down to Vegas and San Jose again. It's really going to be, you know, that matchup will come down to how well the Sharks' bottom 6 plays as well. Because, you know, as always, because that's really the only question about this team going into the season. No real question about the defense. No question about the top guys. It's all about the bottom 6 and what they can do. But I'm curious to see how much having a great back end will help those guys, because that means you're not going to have 10 minutes a game where you're playing a guy who is barely out of the Barracuda. You're going to have 60, you know, nearly 60 solid minutes of guys that are all-stars or damn near all-star, you know, or all-star caliber.
Yeah. And it's going to be tough putting an all-star team for the Pacific Division together without multiple Sharks now. I mean, let's be real. Karlsson, Burns, If one of the forwards if like Logan gets off to a great start, if Evander Kane, yeah, remember him? We also re-signed him, you know, in the offseason. I mean, 3 or 4 Sharks could be going, and they need to have a rep from every team. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how they put together the Pacific All-Stars.
Well, it's pretty much guaranteed that Karlsson and Burns will be going. Like, the NHL will make sure that Karlsson and Burns are going. That's good. That's going to be quite the dynamic duo. I don't know if it'll be quite the awesome bromance of Burns and Thornton, but he's got the hair to hang with him. He's got the beard, but he's definitely got the hair to hang with him.
He's got the sweet stash and everything, and it's like you have Jumbo with the 2 beards, and I think at this past year's All-Star game, you know, granted they had that Pirate Festival going on at the same time with the All-Star game, but you know, Karlsson comes out dressed as a pirate.
Speaking of which, today is Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Arr!
Just FYI.
Excellent. That's really Talk Like a Pirate Day?
Apparently, yeah. No, I mean, every day is a day these days.
Yeah. Something. I think yesterday was like National Cheeseburger Day or something like that.
Yeah. My wife did tell me about that, and I was like, "Are you trying to tell me you want to go eat cheeseburgers?" Like, well, maybe.
But I guess that's for you, Nicholas Falling. Quickly getting back on to what else we heard in the presser. Health-wise, he seems okay. Oh yes. Yes. So Brody had an interview with Karlsson afterwards. Lucky Brody. And it sounds like he's got a lot of rituals that he goes through before the game. He picked 65 himself. And I'll be honest, at the game last night, they already had Karlsson jerseys available. So that'll be interesting. But you know what?
Oh, you know those things were printing out like the second that trade.
Oh, yeah.
Before the ink was even dry, they were printing them out. It's like, you know, when Hurdle had his 4-goal game, like they were up all night printing Hurdle jerseys because they knew those things were going to sell like hotcakes. So yeah, you know, the minute the ink was like starting to dry, they were already pressing out as Karlsson jerseys as fast as they possibly could.
Right, and that makes sense too, for that matter. So it's a good one. Yeah, I didn't catch the interview with Brody since we've been on, but apparently has some rituals that he does. His parents were born in '65, so that's where he gets his number from. That's pretty cool.
Okay, I was hoping he could reprise the old Andrew Desjardins number.
Pick 69. It's hilarious. So health-wise, he's okay. He had that ankle issue during the 2017 playoffs. He had surgery and then went right into the season. You know, so he even said physically and mentally excited with this quality lineup. And you can't blame him for that matter. But he's in the best shape that he's been in right now, and you know, extremely, you know, happy to be here. He's ready to take on a new challenge, and we'll see. But Chris, they didn't mention anything about when he's going to start.
Yeah, they haven't gotten specific yet. I mean, I would expect sometime in the next couple games. Like, I don't know especially if it's on TV or something. I had to look and see the schedule, but I expect that it won't be long because they're going to want to trot him out there and get people excited.
Yeah, and I think tomorrow night's game is in Anaheim. That's on the NHL Network. But Saturday, I just have a feeling, and I know they got to go test out, you know, everybody, but I just have a feeling that Saturday will be the night. And what a way to promote for FanFest, for that matter, too. To have him play Saturday night against Vegas, maybe send a little bit of an intimidation factor, perhaps, to Vegas. But it'll be interesting to see how they do it. But remember, they also have a preseason game against Calgary on the 27th, and I would think by then for sure he would be in good shape.
So he doesn't have a jersey yet, but this is the newest member of the Teal Town crew right here. This is Mr. Edgar. Figure we can do an introductory press conference for him as well.
All right, Edgar, how does it feel when you were acquired? How long did it take for you to come over here and get acclimated with the community?
He's just purring, so I think he's
okay.
He's a cat of few words, but yes, yeah, new Teal Town member.
Newest Teal Town member. There's going to be a battle between who has the cuter cat, and I'll be like, child, please. I have 2 cuter dogs, anyways. But yeah. What do you think of all this? As I guess we should start getting close to wrapping this one up.
What do I think? Damn it, the regular season needs to get here. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I'm pretty psyched. Quiet crowd at the tank last night. The lighting, wow, what a huge difference. It just pops on there. Definitely makes the arena look darker in other forms, but looks really nice out there last night at the tank. So my guess, and I'm just going to take a guess, don't quote me on it, I think Saturday is the night that Karlsson gets in there for his debut.
Yeah, it would make sense, especially on a weekend when it's easy to get lots of people out there. I assume if it's going to happen, they'll probably get the word out before the game. That way people may actually come and buy tickets, because I don't think they're going to do it quietly.
Yeah, and they have the family 4-pack too. It's like $100 with no fees. So being part of maybe history on Saturday night, we'll see. And yes, Christine, they have new goal lights. I'm not a fan of it, but you know.
And with that, I think we're probably about ready to get here. So everyone subscribe, tune in tonight. We are doing the AMA, so you can use the hashtag #AskTealTown on Twitter, or you could just jump in the chat here and we'll do our best to keep up with your questions. But you can ask us about hockey, because obviously I'm sure we'll talk a little hockey tonight. But really, anything you can ask me what Edgar's favorite meal is. You can, whatever you want. Ask us anything. Just don't get us in trouble, okay?
Please don't get us in trouble. That's at 7 o'clock tonight. So stay tuned right here on the channel here on Teal Town USA on YouTube. But of course, make sure you subscribe to us everywhere on social media: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, SoundCloud, you name it. We have it. So we thank you. I think we hit over 50 people watching this, and we hope we see you all later this evening, where we will talk logos and Erik Karlsson and maybe some good flow. So with that, we'll check you out at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And until then, keep it real, keep it teal. Keep it real, Teal. And remember, it's Erik with a K.
Erik spelled the wrong way.